So the 279E, the tank that everybody loves to hate on. We're going to be talking about it, we're going to be reviewing it, and we've been playing some games in it. Now, why is this thing so hated? Well, because it doesn't really have a lower plate, does it? In fact, this is the lower plate, which is a tiny sliver right there that hardly anything will pen. Because let's face it, you're either going to go above it or hit the tracks. And when it is in this position right now, it is very hard to pen this thing. I made a full weak spot guide on this tank, so if you want to go and watch that, then you can. I'm not going to talk too much about the armor. I will just say it is stupid against tier 8s, but against tier 10s, if you have enough pen and you're actually taller than it, it's very easy to pen this thing. Now for equipment on this tank, always choose config as the first one, because that will help you out a lot. This thing loves getting detonated, and a lot of the time it's actually through the first shot, so config is really, really nice to have. You could choose the ammo rack directive, that will give it a little bit more HP for the actual ammo rack itself. However, config negates this and doesn't allow it to blow up within one shot anyway, so just choose config and you're absolutely fine. Next up, rammer. Make sure you have a rammer on this tank. It is a necessity. Like, I don't know what you're doing if you don't have a rammer. And then finally, it's kind of down to you. You could choose stabs if you wanted to. If you don't want to use stabs, which is viable, you could either go with HP boost, you could go with vents, or even a turbo, depending on your playstyle. Now for crew skills on this tank, obviously you should be putting a tank such as the 277 crew or the IS7 crew into this tank, because it does not get the penalty fee from actually moving the crew, and you can use it freely as long as it is the same class and the same nation. So you should already have brothers in arms, you should already have recon, repairs, situational awareness. Also, snapshot and smooth ride are really, really nice if you are not going to be using stabs. So keep that in mind and try and incorporate them. Also, intuition is going to be nice because just for switching out between the shell types is always beneficial. And of course, safe stowage, because this thing, as I said, likes getting blown up. Now for ammo loadout on this tank, we are going for 12, 25, 3, obviously being 12 AP, 25 heat rounds, and 3 HE rounds. You could go with something less, something more. It just depends on your playstyle. At the end of the day, just depends how many credits you have, to be honest. Now for field mods on this tank, make sure that you have either got the left one selected if you are not running HP boost, but if you are running HP boost, do not select it at all and keep this blank. Now this doesn't get good terrain distances. The medium terrain on this tank only goes up to about 35 kilometers an hour, and if you choose the left one, it will go up to about 38. Considering that the top speed, especially with the 7th field mod, is going to go up to 44, you kind of want to make the most out of that, so choosing the right one is just not worth it. You're going to go down to 33 on medium if you choose that. Obviously, for number 4, left, and then for number 5, right. For number 7, always choose the left-hand side. It's not really worth it to choose anything else. And for number 8, it's down to you, but I would rather choose the actual hit points, especially if using HP boost. If you aren't running stabs and you're not running HP boost, then I'd probably recommend you choose the dispersion, but it's down to you. Anyway, let's get straight into some games. Okay, so as you can see, we are on, well, about 35. We were on about 35 going along the snow. So that is obviously mean train. As we're building up speed, going downhill, it will go a little bit faster. But here we are on the good old Arctic region map, or Mannerheim Line. It used to be called Arctic region, okay? This is using the config, rammer, and stabs. I will be changing the equipment choice in a little bit. Obviously, move on to heat to try and go through the 279. I would also like to try and shoot this E3, but it's not really viable at the moment. Nice. That was actually quite a nice shot. Don't really need gold to go through that guy, but we'll use it anyway. This guy should... I was going to say this should still be tracked, but he's not. I want to try and get some shots off, but shooters is very annoying. One into a lower plate of the 60 TP. I mean, this is okay at the moment. That one was very badly aimed. But we just need to be a little bit patient, that's all. Udas finally gets one into us. That one missed. A little bit unlucky with RNG, I won't lie, but... I need this guy to kill this Udas. If this Udas dies, then it's good. Ah, yes. There we go. It's actually quite annoying, and I don't know where this T95's gone either. But I don't want to peek out here. There we go. That's where you are. Yep, straight through that. Using APCR as well, so the correct choice. That just went through him. I'm not joking, that actually just went through him. It just pens the cupola like it's nothing. Oh dear. See? Loads of armor on this tank. This is what I mean. It's only, like, stupidly good if it's directly above you. Like, me against this Kunze-Panzer, he would have to, like, hit this tiny lip here if he wants to pen me, or the cupolas. If it's on flat ground, and you've got a stupidly high pen gun facing you, this isn't that good. Especially against tier 10. Don't know quite how that one didn't pen. Went high. I really don't want to peek that. The thing is, I can't over peek anything at the moment because I will die to the T95. What I need is for them to come around. Everyone's spotted. Why are we not pushing? Let's push. Okay. Oh well. I didn't think that M103 would come and shoot me. I didn't even think that he had a shot. But there you go. So you get 3.6k, which isn't great. On this tank, I want at least 4k. I mean, not going to change that. It's kind of like unlucky that we got penned in the cupola. But if you have a look at battle hits, like, it just shows that... Obviously, this one, I didn't expect him to have a shot. But look, straight into the cupola, man. And this one, very, very easy. Easy. Like, even if you had... I think about 220 pen, maybe? You would go through this? Maybe about 250. But it's not a hard pen to do. Especially when they're side on like this. Anyway, now we're going to be playing with the config, rammer, and HP with a pre-battle maintenance directive, which gives me a 2.64 second suspension repair time. Well, we're now on Empire's border, and as you can see, the dispersion is... Sure, it's a bit bigger, but it's manageable. So, yeah. And then we're just zooming along at 39 kilometers an hour. No real issues. I like going to this side because I don't really see the point of going up the middle. I know there is also no reason why a rinoceronte should be over there. 50B maybe, like, you know. What? That's not what I wanted to do. I am definitely not moving to A8. So we just have to wait and see what goes on over here. Because unfortunately, we cannot push anywhere. Because as majority of you are well aware, Wargaming's map designs are extremely good. Also get kind of unlucky with the pen roll there. Please, 60 TP. That VK is going to be a problem. VK can go straight through me, no issues. See that repair time? That just went through him again. What? There's 60 TP. There we go. Where are my shells going? Also, I'm loving this constant stun. Don't you just think artillery's just so good for the game? Like... That... What? Like, what is going on? I'm sorry, I've never had so many shells that I've just watched go through people. Okay. Good job, Max. Just shoot the friendly tank. Uh-huh. That's another tank that's going to be a problem. Oh, I love being stunned. This is probably the worst case scenario for this tank now, because everyone's above it, and everything is very, very easy to pen. Like, this, when it's above, this is like nothing. It doesn't have armor if you're above the 279. Oh, I just hope this Foch isn't still here. Be nice, Foch. Thanks. That one just missed. Need APCR or AP. Try and track this guy. Like, even with IS-7's APCR, he's still penning me. Just because it's so easy to pen. Well, there is not a lot we can do now. The game is just already over, so... If I get one more shot in, that would be nice. There we go. 2.9, which is really not anything, again. Unfortunately, no one really came to us. Okay. 60 TP. At the end of that game, I mean, we did get robbed of maybe, what, like 3 shots or so of damage. Yeah, I don't know where those shots went. But, you know, 3k, it's not great. I'm not really happy with that, but there you go. Is it OP? Yes, it's OP, okay? No one's going to deny that. Yes, it does need a nerf, but the thing is, it's very difficult to nerf this tank and for it to still be competitive or just not competitive in the sense like, oh, you need it to play competitive game modes. I mean just competitive as in like against other tier 10s. Like, if you nerf the armor on this thing, it's going to be useless. Because the armor is already kind of useless when you're on flat ground. If the person has 330 heat, which is the majority of tier 10s, it's going to pen it. Like, it just will. And like, I'm kind of glad that I didn't just get 2 games where I got +2 and I just annihilated everyone. Because this thing against tier 8s is unfair. The same way as most tier 10s are unfair against tier 8s. So I know that a lot of people are going to be just complaining and saying, oh yeah, but this thing's OP, I can't pen it, I can't do this. You probably don't have a 279 if you're saying that. Because if you have a 279 and the more that you play it, the more that you understand how you can actually defeat it. This is the problem with the 279, right? This is the armor profile of it. You got a very, very tiny cupola. Yes, it's tiny, I know, and it's annoying, but I'm just thankful that there is a cupola, to be honest. But if you load heat, like, you only really need like 300 heat rounds. So like a Cran could still kill you. And if it goes slightly above you, it's a joke. Because even AP rounds can go through it. Yes, I know that it's got this weird kind of armor layout where sometimes you can pen it, sometimes you can't. It's like the E3's lower plate, where if you get unlucky, it's going to be a less of a chance to pen. Just load heat and just go straight through this thing. Like, pretty much every single tank has over 300 pen at tier 10 for premium rounds. Like, even the AMX, if it's above you, you're probably going to die. And that's with standard rounds. If you're using premium, this thing, like, on flat ground, right? If you see an AMX M454 and it goes and face hugs you, bearing in mind it's going to be slightly taller than you as well. So let's say that it's face hugging you like this. How long do you reckon you're going to last? Now, I'm not saying that this thing is bad and this thing isn't OP. I've said that already. It's very, very broken at tier 8. Or if it's directly above you. Because look, if it's directly above you and it uses all of its gun depression, which bearing in mind, it only gets -5, so that is kind of a godsend. Good luck penning that. Like, the only chances that you have is if you pen it right here on this lip, which is 280 millimeters, 290 millimeters thick, where you manage to hit the cupola. If it's rocking backwards and forwards, trying to hide as much as it can, the only chance that you have is to pen this underneath. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. One thing that I will say that you need to look out for is if you're facing a Jagdpan Z100, just be aware, do not bother firing heat at this thing if it's above you, right? Because if you fire heat, yeah, sure, like, you know, you can go straight through this. But if you fire AP, you can just overmatch underneath it, like, pretty easily. So, yeah, be aware of that. And just for a laugh, right? Flat ground Jagdpan Z100. You can even go straight through the turret. I guess what I'm trying to say is, when you see one of these things, right, and you're in a tier 10, don't automatically think, oh no, the game's lost. I see so many YouTubers now complain that this thing is so broken at tier 10 when it's just not. If you get an idiot playing one of these things, it will just die. If there is nowhere for it to go above you, it will die. As I said, I'm not denying the armor's stupid, right? It is. It should have a lower plate, but it's what it is. Like, there's no changing the model of this tank. Hopefully they do something to it, but at the same time, as I've already mentioned, as soon as you do something to this tank, it's gonna become kind of useless. So I don't know. I'm kind of in this weird position where I actually like this tank, and I like the way that it is. If +1, -1 was in the game, I don't think that many people would complain about this tank, because against its own tier, it's okay. Yes, it's better than most, but I wouldn't say that this is the best heavy tank at tier 10. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, even if they are just saying that I'm absolutely wrong, which I know the majority of you will say. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.